Chairman Comer and his staff understand that the cupboard is empty. I mean, they've been at this for 10 months, and they know that there's nothing there. Their wild goose chase has produced no geese at all.
Jamie Raskin is the perfect person to humiliate the Republican Party on national television, and he's not done exposing them for who they really are.
This was the Holy Grail, and now they would have their opportunity to offer their devastating cross-examination of Hunter Biden. Marjorie Taylor Greene would finally get to nail him about all the pornographic pictures and so on and so forth. Yeah, but I think that the cooler heads understood there's nothing there, and it would have exposed all of them to a great humiliation.
Just to give you a little context to Raskin's comments, the House impeachment inquiry leaders wanted Hunter Biden to testify in a closed-door setting in regards to the allegations of influence peddling scheme, or the influence peddling scheme between he and his father, Joseph Biden. Well, Hunter's legal team said, nah, we don't trust y'all to have a private testimony with him in good faith because we've known you to mischaracterize the testimony of witnesses before. So how about we do it publicly where everybody can see it? That got the Republicans shook. They said, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good idea because then you're going to be revealing a whole lot of private financial information from different people, yada, yada. Even though they got no problem revealing all this private information about Hunter Biden's finances and his family's. If you have Hunter Biden dead to rights, why wouldn't you want to put him in a grave, essentially, or figuratively, in public, where everybody can see, yeah, Hunter Biden did this, and he's guilty. And this whole impeachment inquiry about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, trying to get Joe Biden impeached is absurd. It's been going on for so long now, and there's still no smoking gun. There's not.
You can loan people money. If they pay you back, then you benefited directly from the influence peddling scheme.
Before Comer continues, let's pause for a second and reflect on the fact that this man, who clearly doesn't know how loaning money works, is in the U.S. Congress and is overseeing a federal investigation. Just let that sink in.
You got a lot of people, including, here's a tweet from an analyst that says that these are just payments already reported in the media for a truck that Joe Biden bought for his son. He says, I don't think fronting a son money for a truck is an impeachable offense. He says another swing and a miss. Your response to that?
That's bullcrap. Look, if he wanted to send his money to his son for a truck, then send him money for his truck. But he got paid back from China. So it doesn't matter whether all this money we're showing that's going into Joe Biden's back pocket was a loan or not, which it wasn't. But let's say because the media says it was a loan. He got paid back from the influence peddling scheme. This is what the media dared us for months and months and months to prove. They said you have to prove where Joe Biden directly benefited from his family's influence peddling scheme. Joe Biden's trying to say, well, he was the great dad. He wanted to help his son out. His son was in a financial pickle, even though that particular month he received about $400,000 in wires from all over the world. But let's just for the story's sake, he needed help, so he helped his son. Well, then he got paid back from China, so it was no skin off Joe Biden's back. When my son needs help or my daughter who's in college needs help, I just give her money. Nobody ever pays me back, but in each instance, he got paid back from the influence peddling scheme.
The evidence Comer has on Hunter Biden funneling money into his father's account really just amounts to Hunter paying his father back for a truck loan he gave him when Hunter was getting his career started. So Joe Biden was just going to cover these bills on a short-term basis. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's terrible that Hunter decided to pay his father back for a truck loan. What a disgrace. Oh, by the way, this happened in 2018 when Joe Biden was technically a private citizen. He wasn't even in office, wasn't an elected official at that time. So what are we doing here? Influence peddling is the least surprising thing a member of a powerful family can do in a capitalist society.
So they hired the Bidens to help them navigate the bureaucracy, to help them open doors that were shut to anyone related to China. So the Bidens were essentially going to work for China.
It's just another example of the Biden White House using the loan card, saying everything was a loan, everything suspicious that came in over a certain time period, they're claiming was a loan. This is a smaller wire, but at the end of the day, Joe Biden was taking money from lots of different sources in the Biden influence peddling scheme, and that's something that he has been completely dishonest with the American people. It's something I think the American people are concerned about from a national security standpoint, wondering whether or not this president's compromised. The evidence continues to mount, and the Democrats are trying to create a false narrative like they did with the laptop when they said it was Russian disinformation, like they did when they said the Steele dossier was legitimate, is they're trying to create a false narrative to the few Americans who watch MSNBC and CNN and who still read newspapers like the New York Times and the Washington Post. So it's not working. A majority of Americans are keeping up with this investigation. They know that something very bad is happening with the Bidens. They can't explain why they got millions and millions of dollars from our enemies around the world, and they expect us to investigate and hold them accountable.
Once again, we are seeing the Republicans demonstrate how hypocritical they are by going after Biden's family and not Trump's, because Trump's family did far worse and they had more substantive crimes than what they've shown of the Bidens at this moment. And we got no problem holding elected officials accountable for abuse of power or profiting off their power. But as it stands on this day, the evidence is severely lacking against the Biden family compared to what we've seen in terms of evidence for the Trumps and Jared Kushner. You know what that tells me? The Republicans are not interested in justice. They have agendas. They will do anything to bring down Joe Biden and his family to try to get him out of office, even if the facts and the evidence doesn't back that up. Are we surprised? No. But it is still alarming that this is going on because they have so many other more important matters to deal with, like helping run the country and keep the government in order so that we can have a functioning democracy. But the Republican Party does not really give a damn about democracy at this moment in time, and has not for quite some time, I should add. For Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.